Hello, everyone, and welcome to KAMDI Conversations. I'm your host, Tanya Hawley, and so very happy to be with you once again. And I am very excited once again to have a very special guest. Now, I don't say this lightly with my guests. I don't usually say this, but I actually do have a living legend with me this evening, and I'm so happy to have her. So she is a Tony Award winner, a Grammy, multi-Grammy nominee, and so many more things that we're going to talk about. Let me just bring her on. I'm so excited. Please join me in welcoming Miss Melba Moore. Hello, Melba.
Hi, Tanya. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it is truly my pleasure and my honor to have you with me. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you. I truly meant that. I have a living legend. You are a living legend. You
Oh,
are amazing. That's a good thing. Yes.
oh, I knew that.
Yes.
But
Well,
that I am, I thank you for saying that.
well, that's how I feel about you. And I know a lot of other
Yeah.
people do too.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. I do not take it for granted. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. So let's get started. We've got a lot to talk about. I want to start at the beginning because a lot of people may not know how this all got started for you. I was telling you before we started, I actually went back and watched your unsung episode, which was one of my favorites because it gave so much information that I didn't know about you, and I thought it was just so informative. And so you're an amazing lady, comeback kid. So, yes, lots of resilience. But let's go back a few years to the beginning, just a few years, a little bit way back when you.
Wherever you want to go.
Okay, so how did you get started in this? When did you know music is something I think I want to do?
Well, it wasn't quite that simple.
Okay, I'm sure.
I started off as the child of a single mother.
Okay.
She did not marry my father, but my father was a very famous musician by the name of Teddy Hill. And he had a big band, and it was very popular, especially at places like the Apollo and
Mm,
the major cities that had Black populations. But he began as a manager of the club called Mitten's Playhouse.
okay.
And that's actually where bebop was born. And he was very instrumental in getting it started by having like a Monday night, I think it started, where musicians from all over would just come and sit in, and it got to be so popular. And it was the beginning of um, jazz
Hmm.
and people like Miles Davis and Dizzy
Hmm.
Gillespie and my father. And so it really was monumental, and it began to put the new jazz that was coming into being on the map. So he
Okay.
was very, very, very important. I say that because I think now looking back, I had it in my DNA.
Yes, absolutely.
And my mother was a struggling singer.
Okay.
And of course, now she's a single parent.
Okay.
And she was from Birmingham, Alabama. But once she had me, at least I don't know my whole story because my grandmother, she brought from Birmingham, Alabama up to New York to
Hmm.
try to take care of her because she had had strokes.
Okay.
So my mother was gone all the time trying to take care of us, and so I had what you call a nanny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, you
Yes.
black, so you know what that is.
Yes, I know what a nanny is.
Okay, okay. Now my nanny was an orphaned, uh,
Hmm.
illiterate.
Mm.
She was brought up by sharecroppers.
Okay.
So
Wow.
the sharecropper didn't own the farm.
Right.
So I'm trying to tell you what my family was
Yes. Okay.
and how that eventually blessed me so.
Mm.
I don't think I had a chance to go back that far on unsung. But my mother married my stepfather,
Hmm.
who was a musician, a piano player, and they began to work together as an act.
Okay.
But they also fell in love. He lived in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
He had a son and a daughter, so she married him. Mama Lou, that's the nanny who took care of me, my
Hmm.
grandmother, and my mother. moved to Newark, New Jersey. So now I have a stepsister, a step brother. Later on, we had two more brothers. My stepfather's mother was still living, so I had like two grandmothers.
Wow, a blended family for real. Okay.
A blended
Yeah.
family. My stepfather had sisters and brothers, so now I have aunts and uncles. I didn't have any family before, and because my grandmother had strokes, I still don't know who my family was.
Oh, okay. So you just all of a sudden have a family. What did that feel
Yeah.
like?
Well, talk about what it felt like when I didn't have a family,
Okay.
because I'm brought up without a man in the house to protect me. So that meant I was sexually and a lot of different other ways abused.
Hmm. Okay.
So that's how it starts out. Now, my mother also put me in Catholic school,
Oh, okay.
which a lot of people did, black
Yeah.
people too. But it took with me.
Okay.
So I had religious teaching early, had good formal education from the first grade up through the fourth grade until I moved to Newark. My mother kept me in my Catholic upbringing, so I was confirmed Catholic.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I had a very serious Catholic upbringing. And now, of course, I'm born again, and I've been a lot of things, but I'm Catholic again.
Okay. And I went to a
But
Catholic school, so I understand everything you're talking about.
no, you don't.
I don't. I'm in a
Mm-mm.
Spurs school. What don't I understand?
No. Do you know why I'm Catholic?
Oh
No, of
no, I
course you
don't know
don't.
that. Why are you Catholic?
Because Jesus Christ started the Catholic religion. It's the first Christian religion.
Okay.
The reason that's important to me as a born again,
Mm-hmm.
I've been through all of the religions.
Oh, okay.
But I thought, well, since Jesus started this one, let me check this one out myself. Once I'm grown,
When you're grown, right? Okay.
okay, I'll go on from the religion
It's okay. So
to
but were you Catholic in grade school as well, or you
yes,
were? Okay. Okay. So
yeah, yes.
got it.
And what we used to do though is I would go to Catholic school. My sister and my brother were Presbyterian, like my stepfather. And then
Mhm.
after we go to both churches, then we go to the Baptist church and hear all the good music.
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
So I think that speaks of my diversity
It absolutely does. That says a lot.
and my spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
because I was brought up that way, and it took. And like I'm really God's first.
Mm.
I'm a real practicing Catholic,
Okay.
but doesn't mean I'm exclusively Catholic.
Okay.
You know,
That's very interesting.
I'm a real Christian. I'll put it that I'm a real American. Okay.
No, I believe you, Melba. Okay.
Well, because I think you were going to ask me when did I know I could sing and all that stuff. Well, I'm in the middle of a musical family. My mother and
Mhm.
father have a live band that they work with, and they rehearse in the house. My stepfather makes me and the rest of us take piano lessons. So, in the beginning, there was no music when I was alone. I had
Mhm.
no family. There was no music. There was no siblings. I don't even know who my family is. My grandmother had stroke, so she couldn't speak. So I
Oh,
went from that until now I got two grandmothers. I got aunts, uncles. I got a live band and my doggone living room.
wow, that's a big transition. And were you loving it?
Oh, well, you said, when did I find out that I could sing or anything like
Mhm.
that? Everybody sang.
Okay. But your voice
So
stood out, I bet.
no,
No?
you're singing as a family. And
Oh,
I
okay.
found out, but we could all sing.
Okay.
But that I was going to be serious about it wasn't until really high school, because I didn't want to go to a regular high school because we had an art music high school there.
Okay.
So I majored in music. I majored in vocal music beginning in high school.
Oh,
And
okay.
that was my inkling that I didn't know if I could really sing enough to be a star or anything like that, or better
Mhm.
than everybody else. But I knew I wanted to be immersed in music. And of course, when you go to
Mhm.
arts and music high school, everybody's talented. So it's not like, I mean, I was wonderful and everything, but so was everybody else.
Okay.
So then I go to college. I major in music education, and I teach music in the public schools. It was after that I said to my stepfather, "Now I did what you told me to do. You said get a real job. Don't do like you and mother, be out here trying to figure out what they're trying to do, not only as musicians, but as Black people, but
Mm-hmm.
have some foundation. Daddy, would you please help me to try to get into the industry?
Okay.
And to make this story a little bit shorter, he started taking me around. And one of the people that I met as we was making the rounds, going to people's offices and just taking meetings with people, was Valerie Simpson.
Oh, okay.
She was in one of those people's offices too, but she was already established in the studio backup singing world and doing
Okay.
jingles and that. You ever hear this a commercial? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't. Yes. Almond Joy. Yes.
That's Valerie's
I
voice.
didn't know that.
I knew you didn't. Well, she invited me to start singing on some of the backup sessions. And to make the story a little bit shorter, one of the sessions was for a gentleman by the name of Galt McDermott, who was a music director and composer for the Broadway musical Hair.
Hair. Yes.
And he was doing his recording of the music from the show. And as it turned out, after we did all of the music, which took about a couple of weeks, we did all of the music from the show that he wanted to record. They said they were still casting, and if we wanted to, we could come down and sing for the director and the producer. That's how I got my first Broadway show, which was Hair.
And now, was that a goal of yours to be on Broadway, or you just kind of fell
No,
into it? It's
I
just
never went to Broadway. I knew about music. That's all.
yes.
Not no acting or anything like that. No.
And then I know you were the first to take the place of a lead person, the first African
Well,
American.
in the Broadway show Hair, the lead left and they kept replacing her. And one of the Black girls in the tribe of the chorus reminded them that, they didn't have to have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl in this role. I mean, especially since Abraham Lincoln was being played by a Black woman. And let me say, a big mouth Black woman.
I did not know that either.
I know you didn't. That's why I'm telling you these little tidbits.
I love these nuggets. Yes. Abraham
So
Lincoln was played by a big Black woman. Okay.
Well, it was a parody. It was
Right. Okay.
it was a comedy. They were poking fun at American society, really.
Okay.
So anyway, she said, "Well, why don't you let Melba have a chance at it?" She just said that she had a big mouth.
Okay. Okay. That's good for you, though.
It was good for me.
Yes.
So they said, "Well, sure. Would you like to try for it?" I said, "Well, yeah." So they said, "Well, we'll rehearse you, and then on a Saturday matinee, we'll put you up, and if we like you, then you have the role." So that's how I got the female lead and became the first Black person to replace a white lead on Broadway when I replaced Diane Keaton.
Wow.
I thought it was important how it happened.
Yes. I love this because I love stories anyway. I always say this is where stars tell their stories. So that's a wonderful story. And you have some history right there. That's Black history right there. You were the first
Right.
to do that, to replace one. So that is wonderful. And we all know you did an amazing job in Hair because, reading all about it, hearing all about it. So how did it feel for you the first time going on stage on Broadway? What was that like, especially when you had the starring role? What did you feel? What was that like?
Well, in Hair, it was very exciting, but Hair was a series of vignettes. You didn't have one role that just really consisted throughout everything. And I was learning how to act on the job.
Okay.
But that same big mouth girl, her name was Laurie Davis. She said, "No, we've been in this show for a year and a half, and it's not going to last forever. You need to start auditioning for things."
Mhm.
And I said, "Well, I don't really know how to audition." So she says, "Well, let me give you a few pointers." And she said, one of the things she told me was, "You have to do what you call typecasting." I said, "Well, Laurie, what's that?" She said, "Well, you get the script, you try to learn something about the role and the play. And then when you go, you try to look as much like the part so they can imagine that you might be in it." Well, Ludabelle Gussie Mae Jenkins was an exact replica, only younger, of Mama Lou, who had raised me.
Okay.
Mama Lou was illiterate. She didn't know how to read or write.
Mm-hmm.
She was not even a sharecropper. She was an orphan shuffled around. That's what my character was. I mean, so I think I'm very smart to believe in God. That's such a coincidence. It just couldn't be.
It couldn't be, right?
Everybody still, if I don't tell them, they think that I studied acting. I haven't. I still intend to one day, but I mean, maybe for a particular role.
Okay. Go for it, Melba.
Well, now I kind of understand what type I am. I think I'm comedic.
Absolutely.
A certain type. I've been up for lots of auditions since. I never got any role auditioning, so I don't waste my time. I don't waste my time doing that anymore. But now that I'm, established in the industry, I will put together a production team and have somebody write something for me that I know I can do, instead of keep going up for things that I'm not going to get because I'm not the right type, or they have some other political reason why I should. It's ridiculous to keep doing that. And you never get the role. That ought to tell you something.
But Melba, so did that discourage you at that during that time? If you kept auditioning, so were you discouraged by that?
It discouraged me from auditioning.
Okay, but not from acting or singing.
No, because I was already doing that.
Okay.
And by that time, I already had a Tony Award. So I said, no, wait a minute.
Oh, okay. So this
let me think about this.
We kind of bypassed. Let's go back and tell us about the Tony Award. So we'll
go back to that.
Yes. Tell everybody, for those that didn't know, I know I said it in my introduction. Yes, Miss Melba Moore has a Tony Award. Only I believe the second African American.
I'm not. I know I probably was the first to receive it in the category of Best Supporting Actress in the Musical.
Okay.
I might have been the first in that category.
Okay. I thought I had read second or something. I was reading different things. So
you might have.
That doesn't mean it was correct, though, what I read.
Well, and I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure what the exact fact is.
But we know there weren't a lot.
There weren't any.
At that time.
Not yet.
That's right.
No.
So that moment they said and messed your name up for the Tony Award.
Well, I wouldn't remember it, but I have it on tape. Well, I looked at it for years. I never looked at it because I was just too scared of what I might see, because I knew that it was so strange and foreign to me, and that I was just so upset, in a good way, by it. I didn't want to see it, but I finally looked at it and I said, "Oh my God, Melba, you didn't say anything."
You said, "Thank you."
I said, "Oh," I think I said, "Oh, I don't know what to say.
Thank you." Thank you. Yeah, I just saw it today. That's why I remember, because they had that unsung episode. So that's what you said. I don't know what to say. Thank you. And it was so genuine, though. It was heartfelt, because you truly didn't know what to say.
Oh, God.
It was wonderful.
So it was wonderful.
Yes. It was
so wonderful. And to be that generally mystified by everything that's going on, and you know what's going on, but to be thrust in the midst of it like that, really to the top, and now you're trying to figure out what's going on in this world from this wonderful place.
Yes,
you're trying to figure it out.
Well, I know it's years later, but we still congratulate you. You made us proud, Melba, getting that Tony Award. So
thank you. I don't think it's ever going to be too late. I hope not.
Well, I loved your speech. Excuse me. I just want to say hi. We have everyone saying hello. If you all, excuse me, if you all have questions for Melba, be sure you put them in the chat, and I'll be sure to ask her. Right there, everybody's just saying hello and fire. This is a great interview. Thank you all. Thanks for joining us. And please ask Melba some questions if you have them, and I'm sure she'll be happy to answer them. So
absolutely.
Let's keep moving. So we got through the Tony Award. So what's next, Melba? What comes after that? I mean, you got a Tony.
After the Tony Award?
Yeah.
Lots and lots of TV. If it was the Ed Sullivan Show, the Flip Wilson Show, B. Arthur, Carol Burnett, Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas. Did I say Ed Sullivan? Johnny Carson.
Everybody.
Soap operas.
Okay.
Guest appearances, my own special with Clifton Davis, the Melba Moore Clifton Davis Show.
Okay, so I'm not going to let you slide by that one so fast. I know your name. We're going to get to that. That's on my list. because I do remember those shows. So let's talk about that. You had your own show. You had a Melba Moore show, and you had Melba Moore and Clifton Davis,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
That's truly amazing. Another, I say, more Black history here, because not too many people can say that. So tell us about the shows, how that came about, and how did you feel? Did you like it? How long was it? I don't remember that part, but I know
Okay.
I enjoyed it. So give us some feedback on that.
It was just 6 weeks long because it was a summer replacement for the Carol Burnett show, which was amazing, first of all.
Oh, favorite. Watched it every Saturday night at 10 p.m.
So good. I watch the reruns now.
Yes.
CBS Network came to me and they came to Clifton separately because he was in the chorus of Hello Dolly, which when I tell you this, it'll give you an idea of the glorious explosion of breakthroughs that were happening on Broadway for Black people at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the chorus of Hello Dolly, which had originally been done by Barbara Streisand, but was now being done by Pearl Bailey. And her leading man was Cab Calloway.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. That's a wow.
That is a wow.
He was in the chorus. We had met through a mutual friend, Novella Nelson, who you see all the time on Law and Order, who was played the role of Aunt Missy in Pearlie, but she was a friend of Clifton. She introduced me to him. We started to date.
Mm-hmm.
And he went from the chorus of Hello Dolly to the starring role in a Broadway musical called Two Gentlemen of Verona. So we were going to be the Sonny and Cher.
Uh-huh. Okay.
For CBS. That's why it was offered to us.
So they put you all together.
Yes. And we said yes.
Yes, you did. You said yes to them, and yes.
Yes.
But they saw something. So you all, did you know each other before that, or did they introduce you as well?
No, we knew each other. We were a couple. That's why they did it.
Oh, so you already were the couple. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we were a couple. Yeah.
Okay. And a great show. That was, you all had some magic happening there.
We did.
I think you did.
Well, we had good people writing it. We had good cast members. I think Moms Mabley was the landlord. Timmy Rogers is a great comedian, was the super, I think. And we had guest artists on like Gladys Knight and Nancy Wilson and
Wow.
Cloris Leachman, and I can't remember some of the others, but just the absolute best guests on.
Yes. You're going to make me go back and watch a bunch of these. And everyone watching too. You go back
and we were super Afro.
Yes. Let me read a few of the comments, Melba. We got people. Ronald Haney is saying, time for a new Hollywood blockbuster film starring her, meaning you. Yvonne is asking, hi, Yvonne. Where are you originally from?
Oh, Manhattan.
New York.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Shaft, would love to see you on Law and Order, SVU, and Blue Bloods.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Ronald, going to share this around this important interview. Well, thank you, Ronald. We're glad you're enjoying the interview. And Carl's asking, would you do it? He's the one that asked about the Law and Order and Blue Bloods. Would you do it? Dramatic roles?
Absolutely. Things like he's just mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
But if it were theater right now, I would still stick with musicals. So that because I haven't done a musical since I did the role of Fantine in Les Miserables. That's been quite a long time ago now. So I would remind people what my background is.
Okay.
And so it would be musical first.
Okay. And then someone else is asking, will you be starring in another Broadway play anytime soon? They're asking actually that question.
I mean, yes.
Okay.
I'm so used to explaining everything. You just asked me, yes.
That's okay. We don't mind if you explain. And Yvonne just want to know where you live. Where do you reside now? She's going to ask where you're from and where you reside now.
I live in West New York, New Jersey. So I'm still in New York.
Not going too far.
Mm-mm.
And Michael Latier, he's saying Melba Moore is a national treasure. Yes, she is. You truly are.
Thank you.
All right. So we went to shows. We got that, which I absolutely love. I'm gonna go back and watch them. I really am, Melba, because I watched a few clips when I was preparing for our interview, and I just was enjoying them. So now that we talked about it, I'm gonna go back and watch some more. So
Great,
it's
great,
all on
great.
YouTube. Okay. So after that, so you have done your shows. No more shows. Where do we go from here? What happens next?
Records, records.
Records. So now we're singing. This is where the singing star comes from, which is where I heard a little bit more, Melba more. So tell us about that. So now we're singing. So is that your? Do you have a true love, or do you just love it all? Do you have a preference, or if you had to choose one?
I love it all, but I think my anointing is music.
Yes.
So I think if I focus on that and honor that, other things will continue to come out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think if it were acting and I was musical, it would work that way. But I think, what do you call it? God wires you a certain way. It's not so much that I prefer one or the other. I'm trying to see, well, where's my good fortune going to be? Where are things going to continue to flow when things go badly and go wrong? How are you going to start over again? And it's not that those other fields are any more difficult. I think I'm anointed in music. And that doesn't mean that I sing better than anybody else. It means that I've got a blessing here.
Mm-hmm. But
That
you do sing better than someone.
But if I respect that and see how my little universe ticks, it'll keep on ticking.
And it has, yes, I agree, yes. So we went, now we're making records. So that first single, you have chart topping hits and you've been singing. So tell us how that came about and how you felt about your first, because was this your first album? This is where we're jumping into your first, was it your very first?
Yes, solo album, yeah, because before I did backup for everybody else.
Right.
Not everybody else, but I mean, major artists. And then once I got a Tony Award and so much exposure, I was offered a recording contract as a solo artist.
Yes.
And my first one was with Mercury Records, and we started trying to figure out, okay, well, what's my style? Because I didn't know I could sing Broadway because my natural voice was classical.
Right.
So I've learned to do all of these other things. So I didn't really know what my style was. And now we're getting songwriters and producers to try to figure out, okay, what are you going to sing that's going to get played on the radio?
Right. We had to define Melba more as a vocalist now, right? Yes.
No, as a recording artist, because I could have been an opera star. I could have been a jazz, different things. So I guess when you say that, you're saying actually, because of our racial system, you're saying R&B.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite genre of music?
I love R&B music.
Okay. That settles that. Okay.
I mean, not mine necessarily, but just the genre.
Just in general, that genre is your favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And because I heard you say, so you have sung classical as well, correct?
That's where I started out singing because that was my natural voice. So when I auditioned to get into arts high school, when I auditioned to get into college, you sang classical music, you sang arias, you sang, of course, I grew up singing Ave Maria.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes.
I know you got to make the connection.
I got it. Yeah. Okay. So, because I know you have sung them all, because you've got, once we get started, you got classical and you got R&B and you have jazz and did some gospel and it just goes on. So I was just wondering what and pop, of course, is included. What your favorite was. So your favorite.
I think it's R&B.
Okay, very good. So they finally figured it out. Your first album, they figured out it was what? What did
they figured out what we were going to try to learn how to do.
Okay. Okay.
I discovered something of things that I could do in the rock musical hair by the music that they gave us to sing. You see what you can sing, and you start experimenting to see what your style is going to be. And I learned, I had these loud, high, long, what they call chest notes. They belt them. They're not in your head voice. They're not soft or they're not soft tones. They're hard tones.
Okay.
So I learned to have that. And then in Pearly, I learned that range could go very, very, very high because I kept working on my technique and my style and keep working on it. And then, in Pearly, I had like one song to sing, the lead song. And I gave him one of these real long, high notes at the end because I wanted to get some attention.
Right.
But it got me a second song.
Oh, there you go. You got the attention. All right.
So I'm developing my style, really.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I did some of those songs on my first recording, but they're really Broadway songs. They're not R&B songs.
Okay.
So later on, I met my I married him, my husband,
Mm-hmm.
and he started to get people into my recording life, like Van McCoy,
Okay.
who ushered in really kind of the one of the no, it's not one of the first because they had jitterbug and all that stuff before, but disco dance.
Okay.
So dance music. So we were trying to see how could I fit into that.
Right. And what year was this, Melba? What was the time frame?
This was around 70, a little bit after 70, 1970.
Okay.
But I said to myself, if a Merman can get a disco, I can. Shoot.
That's right, Melba.
But we started to.
I haven't heard in a long time.
Right. Right. And it's certainly not with disco.
Right.
But I say that to say that Van, with the hustle and his great talent for writing music and performing it, ushered in a type of music that really basically, not the exact same, but the same genre is still here.
Okay. Yes.
So looking back now, you can see how deep and important his contribution at beginning that era was, and how blessed I was to be a part of it.
Yes.
Starting to try to find out what was my style.
Right.
And one of the first songs I had, dance song, was written by Van McCoy called "This Is It."
Right.
It's a dance song, and I'm singing loud and high, not no long notes or anything, but just dance, trying to find where I'm telling you now. Hopefully nobody thought that when they heard the record. I was trying to find my style.
No, they didn't. I don't think they thought that, Melba. But you were figuring it out. You looked good performing it, So,
right. I rehearsed it.
Yes, you looked good out there.
And I was having great time, So.
Yes. And then what happened after that? The next
Well,
album.
we continue to look for songwriters and producers. That's the key, to put you with them and then try to tailor make things to fit you. So the next songwriter producers we got were Gene McFadden and John Whitehead.
Oh, McFadden and Whitehead, yes.
And we kind of borrowed them from Philly International.
That's okay. I didn't realize that you worked with them, McFadden and Whitehead. I didn't realize they were on your. Was that your next album?
Or series of albums. I worked with them for quite a few years. And matter of fact, they wrote and tailor-made just a little bit more the duet that I did with Freddie Jackson.
I love that song. Yes,
I know you do. Now you know why, because you see how well it's written. I mean, I know you know Freddie's voice and my voice.
Yes,
but now you remember the music that went with it.
Mm-hmm.
That was tailor-made for us to do a beautiful R&B duet. That's what my then husband Charles Huggins did in helping to develop me as an artist.
Okay, and that's a beautiful song. Still one of my favorites to this day.
We've had quite a few others. One that's I think worth mentioning is a song that Gene wrote for me called "Falling."
Okay, "Falling."
Beautiful kind of moderate tempo ballad. And you go listen to it, please. And then he gives me an opportunity to start to hold one of them long notes.
Oh, I have somebody over here asking about those notes. Please give us a note. That's what Yvonne says. Please give us a note. I don't know if it's a note night.
No. You should have some music and everything. It puts me at a real disadvantage so I can explain to people. It's not really good to just do that. I could do it, but it's not really good to do it without the music.
Understood. It's okay. You don't have to. They're going to, of course, ask.
I don't mind. But I don't want to think I'm being a prima donna or insult anybody.
That's absolutely not. Okay. No. Carl, saying, I always love the generation breakthrough when you did Fighting Temptation. I love that movie. Yes, you were so cute in that movie. I loved you in there.
Thank you.
So he's talking about that. You are so personal. Love your spirit.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Ja, I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry, Jiron. Did Melba ever do any concerts with New Edition?
We did, well, it's not a concert, but I did a rendition of the Negro National Hymn or Negro National Anthem or the Black National Anthem
Mm-hmm.
with Bobby Brown.
I was listening to that the other day, preparing
In
for
case
this.
anybody doesn't remember, he was with New Edition.
Yeah. Oh, we know that. Well,
Oh,
I know
I didn't know.
we should never assume, though. You're right. So,
Right.
yes. And that was a beautiful rendition of that song. You had quite a few artists on there with you.
Yes.
That's the one you're referring to,
Of
right?
course, I have the Clark sisters.
You had Howard Hewitt,
I had Howard Hewitt. I had Freddie Jackson. I had Dionne Warwick,
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder,
You, I just,
Jeffrey Osborne.
yes, it was it's a classic, man.
Debbie Allen directed it.
Mm,
Jesse Jackson and Lou Gossett did the narrations. So it was not. That's not just star-studded. Those are important people. I mean, because Jesse Jackson's not a star. He's an what you call him? Now he's a treasure.
yeah, the treasure works. The treasure definitely works. Uh, oh, they're just sitting hard.
Anita Baker. Forgot Anita Baker.
That's right. Anita's in there. I couldn't remember everybody either. You did pretty good remembering everybody though, Melba, because there were quite a few people on there. So let's talk about Hush Productions. So you started your own record label and production company. Can we talk a little bit? Tell everyone about
We
Hush.
did not. We did not have a record label.
It wasn't a label. It's production.
But there were so many record labels that were being done by Black people. Thank God, that was a kind of renaissance for that. Everybody assumes it was. It was a artist management, personal management company.
Okay.
So I think it might be still the only one of its kind. Like everybody did record companies, but we had a huge artist management company.
Okay.
They're primarily recording artists, so it's understandable that it might have seemed that it was a record company, because we had many of the major artists of the 80s.
Oh yes, I know. Kashif, I can name some of them. Kashif,
Go ahead, please do.
Kashif and Melissa is my buddy. She was here, and she always said, "Auntie Melba." She always calls. I talked to her because I said I want to interview Melba. I told her that before, but she's been my guest a few times. Love her, and of course we know Freddie Jackson.
Right.
But what was it like with working with Kashif? Let's talk about him for a minute because he's missed truly.
Yes, and well, he brought so many other wonderful artists with him, like Paul Lawrence, songwriters and producers. He would have cachets of all these incredible musicians, songwriters, and singers and producers that he would bring with him. But his great contribution after Stevie Wonder was this synthesizer sound. He's the reason you remember Evelyn King.
Oh yeah. She's a special lady.
Well, I mean, with all of her songs were incredible, but "Love Come Down" especially.
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom. That's that synthesizer. You hear Kashif, and then he did he did Howard Johnson. I don't know if people remember him.
Fine, Howard Johnson.
Oh yes,
I know who Howard Johnson is. Yes.
He did some music for "You Give Good Love," Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to remember all that he did, but his sound was so definitive and so beautiful, and just it makes you think that he is the sound of the 80s, the beginning of the 80s.
Yes,
because it was so different than everything else before it.
That's true, and that's my time right there. The 80s. That's me, my era. So that was my favorite music. That was the time. That's my soundtrack, as I always say. I think whatever you live, the time period, depending on your age, that is my soundtrack. That's my favorite music.
And I think part of the magic was because it wasn't the electric bass anymore. More, it was the synthesizer bass, that thick, heavy,
Yeah.
rumbling sound.
Yes, and then all the funk bands came along as well.
Yes, yeah,
We got
yeah,
funky in the 80s. So okay.
yes, yes.
So was there anything what made you start Hush Productions? What where was it? What made you say, okay, let's just do this? Because I know you
Well,
had a
because once my career had begun, and
mhm.
what we had to do for me, because I had already been in Broadway, theater, television, clubs, recordings. I was already in 4 or 5 different areas. We could not find a manager who had all of those experiences. So
Uh,
they kept telling me, well, she can't do this, she can't do that, because if they weren't in theater, maybe they never heard of me.
oh, okay.
Or they would say, well, she's in theater, so she can't do R&B music because they hadn't had anybody that had done it before.
Oh, interesting. So you were basically you filled a void that there was a
Yeah, and
void.
so what we did was we got a team of managers in each of the different areas that I had had experience.
Okay.
And I think
Wow,
that was part of the reason for our success.
that's profound. And once again, some more Black history notes going on here. I love it. I love it. Oh, Carl said Melba also raps. Okay, Melba.
Who rap?
That's Carl said Melba also raps.
I'm probably good if somebody wrote it for me because it's just spoken word. I mean, it's not that you can't do it, but
That's right. That's
but
right.
I have to give credit to real rappers. They're very creative and they think of things. They create these
Yes.
poems or yeah, spoken word. I haven't done that. If somebody writes it for me, I'm sure I could do it.
I'm sure you can too, Melba. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Somebody, you put it out there. Somebody gonna be
Well,
sending
wait
you.
a minute, wait a minute. If Pastor Shirley Caesar can, I can.
Hey, that's right. That's absolutely right.
I
So,
mean, it could be done. I haven't done it, but it could be done.
hey, there's something you hadn't done yet, Melba. You might have to look into it. There is something she hasn't done, guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love it. So, Melba, do you have a most memorable performance?
That's very difficult.
Or maybe you might have more than one, but is there one that stands
Well,
out?
you know what? I'll tell you something that I think should be mentioned.
Okay.
My performance at the Metropolitan Opera House, because I was the first. I don't know if there've been any since pop artists to perform there.
Mm,
So that is memorable.
absolutely.
But
There's
I don't have like a performance that was that stands out to me. But that does, of course, because it was the Met.
yes. No, that counts. It stands out. Absolutely. That counts, Melba.
Okay.
So, hello, Queens. Thank you for sharing your music. What advice would you give someone struggling with their sound? I mimic everyone, but I have yet to find my own voice.
Wait a minute. They're a good mimic.
That's what they say. I mimic everyone, but I have yet to find my own voice. Thank you. This show is necessary. Oh, thank you. This is from Mecca the Goddess.
Well, I think they need some help in doing that. You have to probably search for some people that can help you record some songs,
Mm,
help you listen, kind of help you critique, and see what all of you think. And nobody's ever asked me this question before, but what all of you, I don't think you should decide by yourself because you
mm.
can't hear from outside like people hear you. You hear differently or you see you differently. See which direction seems to suit you the best. And if you're just starting to mimic or whatever, I think everybody starts that way because most 99% people do. You sing what you've heard on the radio, you heard somebody sing in church or somewhere.
Right.
You do that. And then you let help get them to critique you, get some critiques from other, sing everywhere and get feedback. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Get feedback. And what do people tell you? You sound like. They'll probably say you sound just like. Well, you don't want to sound just like nobody already got that, but it'll give it'll give you an idea of what direction you might be well suited for. And keep trying to do that and try to continue to get experience getting up and performing,
Mm-hmm.
and learn how to see what the business aspect of it is. First of all, what does it take for you to put a roof over your head?
Mm.
Budgeting. What does it take for you to dress yourself for your performance?
Mm-hmm.
What does it take? What does it take for you to get there? And that will start to give you an idea of what your base price should be that you ask, because you don't have a reputation yet, so
Right.
you can't be on your hit record. So you have to start somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and you start to build up, get used to that, get used to thinking in those terms, and do that for yourself. Don't get an accountant or a business person yet.
Mm.
Go
That's some
ahead and
good.
make the mistakes,
That's good. Some good tips,
and
guys.
and preferably while you're still living at home with your parents.
That was really good right there.
'Cause you don't
You
want to
heard
start out homeless, you know.
it. I love it. I love it. We've got a couple more questions. Hi, Sharon Tolliver. She is asking, can you give your thoughts on today's Broadway?
Oh my God, it's getting ready to be fierce. I went to see the Michael Jackson thing. Of course, it technically is just ridiculous.
Right.
And I don't want to sell that short, but it's just amazing. But the other thing is the script writing and the casting. And I use that as an example because I know Broadway knows they better be doing what they're supposed to be doing now, because it's very, very expensive to go.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
People have to make sure that they're safe to go in terms of the viruses and stuff.
Yes.
So it's got to be worth your time and your money. People come from out of town to go.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm going to tell you something. Broadway is bad. Yes, it
Something
is.
to experience, right? Yes.
And I was using that because all through the play, if you didn't know, you were with Michael Jackson.
Mm.
So I'm sure he can imitate him and everything. That means he's an incredible dancer.
Right.
Also means he's an incredible actor. It also means that they had incredible writing, because they touched on certain parts of the story,
Mm-hmm.
but certain aspects of it, I don't think they want to go totally into.
Understood.
And we know that the audience coming to see this, but we know Michael Jackson.
Right.
So if I'm going to be excited about that, and I'm a veteran artist and everything, it's got to be bad. But that's how Broadway is now.
Okay.
It's worth seeing. It's worth investigating if you haven't been before.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the musicals. Go because they've raised the bar. They really have.
Okay.
Plus, now they let Black people go. I mean,
so
they always let us go, but there was nothing for us to see before.
right, nothing. Yeah, that's true. That's really something. It's come a long way, right?
Yes, yes.
Someone asked, when is your birthday? I want to make sure I get that question in.
October 29th.
I'm in October too. I love it. That is October 6th. October people in the house. And yes. And which of Michael, which of today's, he's asking, which of today's artists do you listen to? Thanks, Michael.
I really don't listen to music.
Oh.
I can't escape some people like her and some others because they're so great. Everybody's playing them. And there's some others. There's some incredible artists, really, really, really good artists. And I'm not going to remember all of their names, and probably because I don't have the time right now to spend listening to people. I've been through that kind of area of my life when I'm sitting and listening, trying to find myself, or I'm listening for enjoyment. So I have people out listening.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
To see what I should record, or who I should see when I do have time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's not a hobby or joy, just a plaything anymore. I have to spend my time wisely.
Understood.
Understood. But I know it sounds like I'm apologizing again, but you know what I really hate? I hate people who they've gone past, that time in their life, so they don't like anything anymore. They say everything it's not bad, it's new, it's fabulous.
Oh, yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing and answering that question. Now, believe it or not, we got a few more minutes left, and I want to make sure we cover the new stuff. So we got to get that in.
Okay.
You have a new project. Why don't we talk about that for a couple minutes and tell
Okay.
everybody about your new project? I'm excited to tell them about.
Well, it's a new album. Most people are putting out singles now, and my first single is "So in Love," which I hope people download and listen to. But accompanying it is an entire album that I want you to listen to, and I think it's fresh. I have several new songwriters and producers that are helping to reframe me, recreate me, and show you that I've been continuing to take care of my spirit, my soul, and my voice. So it's in
Mm,
wonderful shape to show off to you still.
awesome. Yes. I love it.
Did I say the album is called Imagine? Did I say that?
You did not.
The,
It's called,
the, the, the album is called Imagine.
okay. And someone asked, what is your favorite song on this album?
Oh, my favorite song on the album is called Take Her Picture Down.
Okay. Well, we better go listen to that one for real. So, I can't wait.
Because I think it's a lot like me in that it's fun, it's funny, says, okay, I don't feel like talking about this all night now. We sitting up here, I'm laying here talking to you in this romantic mood. So you better take the picture down, baby.
Okay.
Now, down, 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 now, 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 now.
Oh, I got to go listen to that. Now you gave us.
And it's very pretty. So she's not fussing at him.
Okay.
It's romantic. We're not arguing.
Okay. Okay. We got to go hear it, y'all. We got to go listen to it.
That's my favorite one because I
Oh,
think if I'm just left to myself, I'm having a conversation, I'm engaging with you, I think I'll be joyful. I think I'll be honest. Even if the subject might be difficult.
mhm. Okay.
And when it's over, we'll still be friends.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. So where can they find download? Is it on where's what platforms can they find your
It's on all the
everywhere?
platforms and,
Okay.
and all the streaming platforms too.
Okay. Great. So you all make sure
Yes.
you support Melba and her new.
Please.
Absolutely. Carl's asking, are you performing in New York City on May 24th?
I am, yes, and that is for the George Floyd benefit. And that's a very, very serious event, but I'm going to be on the bill with Karen Clark Shear.
Mm, wonderful.
Uh, um, my friend Irene Gandy is going to be there. The mayor, Eric Adams, is going to be there. Kim Burrell. You ever heard her sing?
Love her. Yes, I love Kim Burrell. Yes.
I'm going to be on the bill with these ridiculous gospel singers.
Oh, you got this, Melba. You got it.
I'm not nervous. I'm excited.
We're excited for you. That is the George Floyd Memorial Concert. Make sure I say that to
Yes,
everyone so they
yes.
know.
I mean, it's going to be wonderful, wonderful, but it's for a very, very, very serious issue.
Yes. And we know you
And
were civil rights activists as well. So this kind of,
yes, yes.
yes,
And so they're going to donate some of the funds to the people with the tragedy in Buffalo to make sure that they can fight the good fight. It takes money.
that's wonderful. And I wanted to make sure I mentioned that because, as I said in the beginning of our interview, you have so many titles. There's so many things I wanted to talk about. So we didn't. I'm glad we got that in. I want everyone,
Thank you.
for those
Thank
that
you.
didn't know, that you were and are a civil rights activist. That you were,
Yes.
because you started your career some time ago, and civil rights things were going on, and you were right there fighting for
Right.
us. And here you are performing here, full circle, now with the
Right.
George Floyd. And how does that make you feel? Does it feel like we've made progress, or does it feel like, we're still fighting? How do you feel? Because you were in the trenches back then.
Well, the answer is yes to both. We've made great, great, great progress. Absolutely. And I'm grateful for that. But how can we still be being murdered by the police, by the people that's supposed to protect us.
Like this, yes.
This is heinous, and it bespeaks of how we're not really dealing with the fact that the foundation of this country is slavery. And it's not just slavery, it's for Black people. That's a horrible reality that we live with.
Yes, it is.
I'm saying it in generic terms, but every Black person knows what it is to raise a Black male. How can that still be true in 2022?
Wow. Yes.
It's heinous.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is true. Thank you for that.
I wanted to say it in those terms because at the same time, I'm in kind of a little paradise. To have my health and my strength. I'm a senior citizen now. I'm getting ready to put out a new project. I can't get so caught up in that I don't know what it's for. It's for the benefit of others.
Yes. Amen to that. Melba, you a senior citizen?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not 15 anymore. I'm not in Kansas anymore.
Okay. Well, it has been a pleasure. Before we leave, though, I want to leave on this note because this is so exciting. Congratulations to you on getting ready to receive in August President Biden's Lifetime Achievement Award, the presidential award for that. Congratulations. That is wonderful, Melba.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Just got one word, kind of like your thank you.
Wow.
That is so awesome. You are so deserving of that. So again, I just congratulate you on that. How exciting. And that's in August, correct?
Yes. August 26th at Morehouse College. Once again, at one of our traditionally Black colleges that paved the way and opened the way for us to even have the right to have education. I'm scooching all up my face because how can it be against the law for you to get an education?
Wow.
How can this be the land of the free, the home of the brave? And I'm speechless. But anyway, we've come a long way. I'm grateful. We have so much further to go. So I want people to stay excited, to stay positive, because you fight better when you're positive.
That's true. Yes. Yes. Well, Melba, thank you so much. Thank you for all you have given us. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for your input, for fighting for us, for your music, for we're so glad you won the Tony Award, that you represent us so well. Just everything you've done over these years. I just want to say thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much for appreciating me. Absolutely.
It has been such a pleasure speaking with you today. People are saying thank you for your service and congratulations.
Thank you.
How amazing is this interview? They really have enjoyed it. So so thank you all for watching and listening. Don't forget to please download Melba's new project on all your social media platforms.
It's called Imagine.
Imagine by Melba Moore. Make sure you get it, guys. Support our artists, especially Melba Moore. So, absolutely. So Melba, again, thank you so much. I pray you'll come back and visit us again.
Thank you. I hope you'll have me back, Tanya.
I would love to have you back anytime you want to come, and I hope to meet you in person one day. You're going to come my way in Atlanta, so maybe I'll see you
Yes,
there.
I hope so. Thank you. Yes.
So thanks, everybody, for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and like me on Facebook, the KAMDI Group, and KAMDI Konversations. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Melba.
Bless you. Thank you.